Hello, my name is George, and today I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a different video because I'm bored out of my mind at 6 a.m. and I just cannot go to sleep, unfortunately. So what I want to talk about is for a huge part of my life, I haven't had the motivation to do anything, and when I mean anything, I mean everything. I have no drive to do whatever it is academically, mainly. Uh, there is no job that I can do with the subjects that interest me, and I really just feel lost. I don't know if that's a common phenomenon with people my age. I'm in my early 20s, for reference, and I feel so alone in this. I haven't really talked to anyone about it because all of my friends, they all seem like they have everything together. They have their interests, they work jobs that are closely tied into what they enjoy doing, which I was previously in a school specified for programmers, so I know how to code in a couple of languages. Not anything spectacular, not something to write home about, but I can do it. And I never really enjoyed it. I always wanted to do something that's closely tied to computers. Like, I thought learning about how they work, how you can make programs would be fun and really interactive, but it's not really engaging for me. Most of it I feel is just learning how algorithms work and pretty much just maths. Now, mind you, maths isn't really hard for me. I've always enjoyed solving problems. That's mainly because my grandma was a mathematician. So ever since I was little, she always tried to make me enjoy mathematics as much as she could, to make sure I have a good education. Since my parents couldn't really, uh, they weren't really happy together, so they couldn't really spend time with me together and teach me. Could teach me a lot of stuff, a lot of things. I mostly had to teach myself everything about what it is to be human, pretty much. And I still haven't learned a lot, not nearly enough. But that's not what I want to talk about today. So back on the topic, motivation. I don't understand how people have this drive to just go to work and sit there for like 7 or 8 hours, just like typing away at a computer or working in an office job or anything, as a matter of fact. I don't think I could do anything for such an extended amount of time. 7, 8 hours to me is impossible. Even if you have your 30 minutes, 1 hour break to separate the times, it really just seems impossible to me. I don't understand. It seems so alien. That's why I'm also deathly afraid of getting a job, because mostly I want to do what I enjoy. For example, video games, right? I created this whole channel just because I love playing video games and I want to share these moments uh, with other people who enjoy gaming as well. And honestly, should have started a long time ago. I don't know why I gave up on it. I wanted to start YouTubing ever since I was a kid, but I remember there was this one game that I played as a child. It was this Transformers game. Um, I'll probably find the name later and put it on screen. But it was this third-person Transformers game. It was really fun. Like I loved playing that game. Uh, and so I wanted to record the gameplay and put it on YouTube, see what other people think because I hadn't seen any of them else play the game because most of the other YouTubers back then used to play horror games and flash games like dev games PewDiePie used to play. I really wanted to structure this channel like his old content. I really enjoyed it. But what I was talking about, the Transformers game, I wanted to record it, and I thought, whoa, if I want to record a game, I should download like Fraps or Bandicam. So I do that. I download Bandicam. I record like 30 minutes of footage. I just sat down, started a new game, played it for a little bit. Then I check back the recording, and it's a black screen. And I don't know why uh, I just didn't search up on the internet like what that meant, what it was all about, why that happened. I just felt so extremely demotivated at that point. I just gave up on that dream like for 10 years. It's actually been maybe even more than 10 years at this point. Um and yeah, this I got this motivation to start this YouTube channel just recently. I remember the day I uh I got the idea to start making these YouTube videos was the same type of night like this. I was in my bed, just could not for the life of me just go to sleep. It was 4:30, maybe 5 a.m. Almost the same time it is now. And I was thinking like, wait, what if I just sit down and start playing and commentating some game? Uh, and that is pretty much how this channel started. I just went on the internet, as searched up best uh, gaming capture software, best editing software. I got the free ones, of course. I got the OBS, the DaVinci, the default stuff. And when I was learning them, uh, this past couple weeks, it was actually really fun. I was really motivated to start making these YouTube videos. Uh, as a matter of fact, the first three, maybe it was even four videos I made, were all made in one day. That's why I don't really like the first couple videos on this channel, simply because the editing was so weird. Like um, from one scene to the other scene, I didn't use any shadowing effects. Like at the end of one clip, at the start of the other clip, it was just an abrupt cut from one clip to the other clip. Um, but yeah, I'm trailing off topic insanely hard right now. So yeah, after this burst of motivation I had for like these 3 or 4 days, where I was just waking up, uh, recording gameplay. I'm sorry, I'm still sick. Uh, I was waking up, recording gameplay, and editing it, and that was my whole day. Like, it was so much fun. Mind you, right now I'm in a kind of a exam period at my university. As a matter of fact, I actually have a an exam tomorrow. but I cannot make myself study. It's so, I know my future depends on this, it hinges on this education that I'm getting right now, but I'm just so, I get so distracted so easily, and the material I study is so boring. I remember when I first signed up for this major, I thought it would be much more fun because I'm studying right now avionics, and I don't know why. Maybe I was just dumb as hell. I just didn't think it through. I did not know that avionics was pretty much just physics and mathematics, of course. Uh, and so what happens is I started this course in uni, and I'm thinking like, okay, we're getting the default subjects out the way, physics, chemistry, programming, the usual stuff. Everybody learns this now at the first semester. And then we get to the second semester. And I look at my timetable and it's four different physics, one mathematics, and an English. And I'm sat there completely shell shocked. I feel like that's the moment I actually lost all this all the motivation I had to continue my education because I was never really on good terms with physics. Like I barely understood how all these formulas work. I can memorize them completely like to heart, but I cannot think of a problem and create a formula around the problem. Like for example, if an object is falling to the ground, I know the Earth's gravitational pull is like 9.8 meters per second, but I have no idea how to fucking make the correlation between that and the weight of the object uh, to see how fast it will fall to the ground. Like before university, I could not do that. So I guess you could say that I've made a little bit of progress now that I know, but it's taken like 5 semesters for me to learn that, and the subjects right now are much much more difficult. Plus, it's a really engineering oriented type of field, and engineers have it rough. I I understand this now. I didn't think it would be this hard because back in school, I never really had to study like for some subjects like history or geography or what else? Chemistry. Yeah, I could just sit down, just read whatever was in a textbook, like a couple times, and I would just flow into my mind by itself because it was so simple. Like you get this year, this thing happened. You get this person, he did this, this, and that, and that was it for history. And I love history. I really wanted to major with some type of history, um, but I realized that the only jobs that you could do with such a subject are teacher or archaeologist, and I'm not one to work with kids. I don't enjoy being around kids. I wouldn't say they annoy me, but I get extremely tired around them. Just of the thought that I have to babysit them just to make sure they are okay, that they won't do anything, and just having a job that hinges on you being able to talk to children and make them interested in something, it seems like torture. I can't lie. But to me, recently, every job that I've thought about seems like torture. I can't envision myself doing something for 40, 50 years of my life just to retire at 68, 9, however old people retire nowadays. Uh, and just to be sat there in my twilight years where I cannot walk around on my own, when I can't eat on my own, where I'm basically no longer human. Reference. Uh, yeah, with this type of existence doesn't seem fun to me. Honestly, of these past 3 to 4 years, I've been feeling really, how do I say this, really jaded, really uh, disillusioned, you could say, with life. Maybe it's because I don't really have any goals. There is nothing I really want to achieve in life. Like, of course, I want to have a family at some point for sure, and I want to have mm, maybe I wouldn't really even say that I want something physical, not physical, material. I would like to have maybe a car. I've been looking at the Japanese cars as of recently, like Mitsubishis and Toyotas. They just seem so cool, especially the older models. Uh, I recently actually got into cars, just the idea of them, and not really how they work, but what they represent. Because I've been reading up on Initial D. I've been reading the manga because one of my friends recommended me the anime, and I can't for the life of me watch anime anymore. It's just too time consuming, and I'd rather read instead of watch because I stare at my phone too much, anyways. Uh, so yeah, I got into cars because of Initial D. That's one for history books for sure. Probably not the only case. The only case for that. Uh, but yeah, I can't really say there is anything that can motivate me to go find a job and work for most of my life. So it's like people weren't made for this, in my opinion. You can't really. There's no reason for us to be doing so much work just to barely scrape by, barely make a living, while other people just are born so lucky with like millionaire or celebrity parents. That's what I maybe that's what's made me so jaded in these years. I I'm really envious. I really get jealous easily, especially when I see people of not really higher status, but of wealth. When I see someone that is around my age, like 20, 21-year old guy, girl, whatever, when I see him in like a Lamborghini or a Porsche, like some expensive car. Shit, even a Mercedes. I'm like, how do you afford this? Uh, because when I was little, me and my family weren't really wealthy, right? Now we can support ourselves well. Well, it's mostly because my family really isn't together anymore. I I don't really know how to feel about it. I like to think I've overcome this part of my life, but I can't really say I have. But yeah, I grew up kind of just a little below middle class. Um, my parents could afford me presents for Christmas and for my birthday, of course. But if I wanted anything like for no special occasion, like if I wanted a Lego, Legos, by the way, when I was young, they were and probably still are insanely expensive, especially in my country. Um, but if I wanted any type of toys or anything, the answer would most of the time be no. I remember there was one example where my dad said, uh, "If we buy you this Lego toy, we're we're not gonna eat anything for 2 weeks. Do you understand?" And I was sitting there with real tears in my eyes, and I told him, "I understand, but can we buy it?" And he just looked me in the eye with this it wasn't disappointed look. He actually was angry. Like ever since I was a kid, I've learned to read people's faces really well because I never really wanted to make anyone mad. I always tried to steer away from conflict, and I'll never really forget that face. He just made me think like we're down on money and we will never go up. And even now, my parents always reassure me, especially my dad. He's always encouraging me to keep studying, keep finding new opportunities for myself to realize my potential. And he's always telling me like, "Don't worry, we have finances now where we're really not uh we're not so poor. As a matter of fact, we're wealthy now, pretty much. He can afford to buy himself a new apartment, and I love that for him. I love that he's made such progress in his career. Since we went from a really small kind of town, like not even 20,000 people, to like living in the capital city of my country, where it's like I think 2 million right now, and it's honestly it's a huge difference, especially in the money. My dad seriously gets money now, but with the way I grew up, I will I've really always had this broke mindset, let's say, where I think like I see something, I may want it, but I can't afford it. So there's no reason to want it. And that's how I've always looked at things. Especially right now, if I really want a car, that's like a heavy investment. First you gotta buy the car. If it's brand new, it's gonna be insanely costly. So it has to be like second, third hand, whatever. But if it's second hand, then there's probably something wrong with it. So you gotta patch it up. You gotta repair it a little bit so that's drivable. Um, but that's also added to the cost. Plus, gas is also insanely expensive right now. I remember as a kid, I never really understood why my dad was saying like, "Oh, gas is so expensive." When we went to the gas station, and it always said like gas 2 point what is it like 15, 16. And I thought like, wait, it's $2 for gas. Like, how is this expensive? Because I didn't know it's for 1 liter, and the car takes a whole lot of gas to drive even like a couple kilometers. Uh, but yeah, returning back to my original point, I feel like living like this, like myself, without any concrete goals set out for yourself, and like no real, nothing to really achieve. I feel like I'm just existing. I'm not really living. Like I can go outside, I can meet people, I can talk to them, I can touch them, I can make serious relationships with them. I can bond with them, but I don't really feel like a real person, right? I feel like an actor who's just walking around with this poker face all day, and it's seriously tiring because when I'm home alone, I don't really act the way I do when I'm around other people. It's seriously like I have other personas that I just use and abuse whenever I need to. It's it makes me, how do I say this? It makes me like feel hurt because at one point I question myself like, okay, would this person act this way? Would that one act that way? By myself act this way? And for my parents act a completely different way. So which one is me? I I still haven't found the answer to that question. Um, I don't think I'll ever find it actually. I honestly think I should just stop thinking on it because every time I think such thoughts, it gets me in a really negative headspace, and yeah, people shouldn't really think about such things every day. Because I remember there was once a time right after my last girlfriend broke up with me. I was just sitting there because she didn't even say anything. She just stopped texting me one day, and I was texting her like, "Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you? I haven't heard from you in like a week." And she just didn't say anything. I asked her, are you alive? Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I just don't want to talk to you anymore." And after that, I really just spiraled. Uh, it was honestly a horrible time for me because that was also maybe the second or third semester at my university, and that's when the material actually got tough. Like, I actually really had to study, and I still do, but I'm so exhausted from the subjects, the whole um theme of my study, like avionics in general. I feel so done with it. I don't ever want to study this again. Um, but yeah, um, that semester I got failed. I failed four of my exams, 4 out of 4, and then my girlfriend broke up with me, and then I failed my driver's license exam, and I really didn't want to feel like myself anymore. That's kind of when all this started. When everything went so wrong, I I kind of developed this negative persona that is unfortunately invaded my whole life. It feels like a parasite that's attached on my back. Like I remember there was a time when I really felt happy. Like I would go out with my friends, with my girlfriend, with my parents. You know, not I'm not I'm not gonna get too much into it. Uh, and I would really just feel happy. I would feel content with my life. I was thinking like the university was really fun because the subjects weren't that hard and the people there were really nice before all the nice people dropped out. Uh, yeah, when everything came crashing down, now every time I have fun with like my friends, I really always have this feeling in the back of my mind. Okay, but when they're gone, it's it's back down with you. You're you're not gonna achieve anything. You're not gonna do anything. You just stay down and not really get up. And yeah, that's unfortunately how I felt these last this last 1 year actually. It's wait, no, it's almost 2 years now. Uh yeah, I don't really know how to end this video. I pretty much got off a lot of stuff I had piled up, and there was no one I could really speak to it about because mostly nobody's up right now. It's almost 7 a.m. I'll probably pull an all-nighter. Hopefully, I'll survive to tonight. So yeah, if you listen to this whole thing, thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you don't fall into such a pit as myself. And if you have, I pray, I will actually pray and keep you in my mind. Let's say, uh, because I don't want no one, no one else, no matter how good, evil, kind, unkind, nobody should feel the way I feel most days. So yeah, thank you once again, and have a nice day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. Bye bye.